Viewer, behold, today I bring you Fallout 4. That's right. It's got a huge update plus the show. I thought, why not do Fallout 4? I thought that would be so much fun. And I was actually gonna upload this the other day, but sadly, due to technical difficulties and stuff like that, I could not. So I feel like I was gonna wait till Tuesday. But was like, no, 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 I want to get this out as soon as possible, as soon as it's done. So here it is. So Fallout 4 is probably the most casual friendly Fallout game of all the Fallouts, and it is some people when it first came out, some people didn't. A lot of hardcore fans kind of didn't like it because of certain things that I will go into later in the negativity aspects. But right now, I just want to talk about the game and talk about the stuff. So let's just into it. So Fallout 4 is made by the great Bethesda, which is now owned by Microsoft due to their purchase, and also following the success of their new TV show, which is awesome. Like, maybe I'll get into it at the end of the video. I'll just start ranting. I'll talk about it. But if you haven't seen the Fallout TV show, um, I highly recommend it. I think it's probably one of the best gaming TV shows out there, equal to The Last of Us. It shits on Halo, and that shit was such a letdown. But yeah, I think it has the one of the best shows out right now. So if you have not watched it, you just need a Prime sub. If you have a Prime sub, you can go on Prime Video and give it a watch. I think it's a great series. I think oh no, I'm sorry, it is a great series, but I think the show itself pays homage very well to the series, and I think it does a great job. And I showed my sister and my father, who both are not gamers at all. They don't, but they ended up loving the show, and I was actually shocked how much they love the show. Now they were very lost at the start of it, but as the show progressed, it kicked in and the story started making more sense. And I feel like uh, they did enough where it was enough for like the nerds to be happy, and they did well for like a structured story that people who have never even heard of the series can follow. And I feel like that's a great job. It wasn't like I'm glad they didn't do like the mute protagonist route, and he's just like killing everybody and like stem packing himself. Though I feel like that would be funny if they did like a cameo where like you see a vault, like a main character vault dweller, and he's just like destroying everything, like healing himself and like eating everything and healing. I think that would be really funny and really cool to add. But that's just like my tidbit. But I'm not. That's just if you're watching show writers, you can take that. Go ahead, take that. It's all yours. I'll give you that. All right, now enough talking about the show. Let's get on to the game. So this game, you take place as the sole survivor, who is a sole survivor. He is probably the only normalized human so far. That come on. There's gonna be some retconning or something later. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But he is the only surviving human because the vault you go on, Vault 111, is a cryo vault and freezes you. And if you learn about the vault later on, you'll learn about the story of the vault, and that is that the vault actually did not have enough supplies to last. So the people inside started panicking, and they left the vault, which is really cool when you learn that stuff. Which is why I love the Fallout series, because you can, or not just Fallout, but Bethesda games in general, because they usually add a lot of context to the game if you want it by reading books and reading like notes and stuff. And I always like that method. I think that's a great method. So people who want to learn about the world can learn about the world, and people who don't care don't even know about its existence. So that's the nice thing about it. So yeah, and when you go into the vault with your family, sadly your son is taken and your wife is killed right in front of your character's eyes. So it's definitely your spouse, I should say, because depending on whichever gender you pick, your spouse will be the opposite gender, and they will be the one that dies. So if you pick female, the male will die, and if you pick male, the female will die. Uh, and it's actually really cool because apparently the child is actually based off whatever you and your other character look like. They actually try and generate a child, which I think is very interesting. But it makes me wonder what kind of weird shit you can make the guy look like, Sean look like. But then again, I digress. So when you choose, so you choose the sole survivor, and based off their choice. So yeah, you come out of the vault and you have to like pretty much. So your character's story is that he's trying to find their lost child, and what you do to find them now. And throughout the game, you can meet companions and meet other people, and who are really you can really meet companions who are pretty interesting. And my favorite is probably Cosworth, Nick Valentine, and probably Kate. I like Kate, the badass Irish girl. She's really cool. There's also Piper. You can meet a French robot named Curie, and you can also have Hancock. Hancock's a cool guy. I should have mentioned him earlier too. Hancock's a really cool dude. There's also a McCready who's also apparently from Fallout 3. He's in Fallout 3. He was a kid in that game, and in this game he's an older gentleman. So I think that's really cool for older players. You can hang out with your boy from back in the day, and yeah, you get an assortment of weapons and skills. So in this game, you have is kind of like so in when you start the game, they give you special, which is like your stats, which is like S is strength, P is perception, I is intelligence and stuff like that. And you put your points based off what you want. Usually I usually like high strength, high luck characters because I think those are the most fun to play with in VATS because VATS is such a really cool and really awesome system. But I'll get into that in a second. Yeah, so you pick your stat points and how you want your how you want your character's build to be, and you have perks based off the number of points. So like 1 point in strength will give you the strong arm buff, which is like you do more melee damage, and 2 points will give you like uh a toughness thing, but I think that's endurance. But you get what I'm trying to say. It's like so each point gives you a perk, and usually the more points, the higher point cost the perk is, the more powerful for the perk, the more powerful the perk is. Um, and I think now this system is cool and has been in the game since the beginning, but it's kind of changed, especially with like the perk system, because how it used to work before was that would get talents and perks off your special stats, yes, but you could also get stuff to upgrade yourself, like upgrade and get more special points for things. But in this game, you can just spend a point and upgrade the special point. Um, there's also like speech. Speech is also a big thing. I want to say that they changed, and that's one of the negative aspects I'm gonna get into. But uh, other than that, that's about it. I think the weapon types are really cool. You have projectiles, basic projectiles like a combustion, like you know uh, like basic guns. I would say ballistic projectiles. You also have energy projectiles. You also have grenades you can throw. You also have melee weapons, which is I love melee weapons. You have rocket launchers. You have everything. You have a lot. You have a whole arsenal. And this update also adds more guns and more weapons and more armor. So I think that's even better. So they really did a very good job on that. Also, you can craft stuff. Crafting is a lot of fun. Uh, it can be annoying, especially when you want to make something fast, but you don't have the right thing. And you have to find out, like, oh, you need a fucking gear, and you don't get a gear from a fucking used phone, and you have all the used phones in the area, so you have to go to some random dungeon and hope to God you find it. You can use wiki and stuff to find shit and tell you where to find shit, but like if you don't know about that shit, you just try and explore and make shit. It's really fucking annoying. But yeah, crafting in this game is really big, and picking up junk is big too. Like in older games, you used to never really care about junk, but in this game you do because other than the story system and the story missions and the side missions, there's also a base mini game or base side mission base game where you can make bases, and you can pretty much how it when you do your Minutemen quests, which start which were like which are like the very beginning, because Cosmos tells you to go to Concord and that's where you meet them, and they go back to Sanctuary Hills. They'll start the building quests, and in the building quests, you pretty much build your own forts. This is why junk is important, because you need junk to make shit for these forts, and the more junk you have, the more resources you have. And I feel like just pick up a bunch of junk when you're full. Just go back to the Sanctuary Hills, just throw it all in the storage, and then just do that every once in a while. I feel like if you do that every once in a while, you'll never run out of shit when you're building shit. But other than that, that's about it for the building and whatnot. Yeah, let's get into the negatives now. So the big negatives are like the dialogue, which is the biggest reason people hated it. Hardcore fans hated it when it first came out. So for you newer fans who don't understand, who are like, "Well, the dialogue was pretty good. I like the way they did it." Well, yes, they did. The voice acting was never the problem. The voice acting in Bethesda is usually par or pretty decent. Sometimes it's great, but depending on whatnot. But the voice thing is like so in older games, your special stats would also change what kind of dialogue options you would have. So if you had lower intelligence, you could actually like talk like an idiot, and people would be like, oh God, this guy's a moron," and it would be pretty funny. It's really cool to have that, and there would be certain things like if you had like high engineering, you could say, why don't you do it like this?" And the guy's like, "Oh, that's a pretty good idea." Or if you have high medical, be like, if you see a corpse, you'll be like, "Wait a minute, my medical is high enough so I can pass this check where I can look at the body and notice there's not something exactly right with how it's like how he said it died and how the corpse looks is completely different." So I think that itself is missing, and I feel like that's such a cool role play mechanic and a cool like unique scenario mechanic where each playthrough can feel different, each build can be more unique instead of just what it is in Fallout 4, which is yes, no, sarcastic, or tell me more information. Or for persuasion, you just get yes, no, and then the two options are going to be so yellow means it's kind of hard, orange means it's hard, and red means good luck. You better have 10 charisma, otherwise you're going to fucking fail this shit. So that's what that shit means, and I agree with the hardcore fans. I know the newer fans don't mind it, and I feel like the voice actor and voice actress for the Soul Survivor both did a wonderful job. They did a great job, and they really made the character feel alive. But just like just having a silent protagonist just feels a little bit better because you can kind of imagine what he sounds like, or you can kind of picture your voice off him. Kind of like me, because I don't have a face reveal yet, so you don't know what I look like, so I can look like anything to you. I'm like a morphing figure. You don't know what I am. I'm actually like am I like a fucking Styx, or am I a fucking morbidly obese whale? Like you don't know. Who knows? But it's just a one thing that just takes away out of the roleplay element that a lot of the older fans were used to, and you kind of have to get used to it being taken. Also, the endings in Fallout 4 kind of sucked. We're almost at like a 20-minute mark, so I'm just gonna fucking say it since we're almost at 20-minute mark. And if you're watching, that means you probably played the game, or maybe like you're really interested. But I will just say that like when you find out about what happens to your son, and like you can't resolve it in ways that you want to resolve it, especially with how you're put as the leader of a certain faction, so you can decide whatever they do, but you can't change it for the better, and that pissed off a lot of players. But luckily we have mods, and mods can fix everything. Mods can, oh my god, mods, dude, mods. Oh, this is like one of the biggest downsides of being a console player, is that we don't have mods. We have Creation Club, which is kind of like Bethesda approved mods, but like if you go to Jarvis, activate Nexus mods, activate that shit, activate 4K upscaling HD big titty Piper. Like, god damn. That's the kind of shit they have on PC, and damn, I wish we had that shit here. But yeah. The dialogue was the biggest negativity factor I can think of, and I want to say, and I just want to just it's like the only negative thing I can say about this game so far, because I'm loving it, playing it again, and the DLC is so good. Far Harbor and Nuka World were such great DLCs. You know, Nuka World itself was a whole nother game. Like most studios would have made Nuka World like Fallout 4.5 and made just charge you $70 for another game. But luckily they didn't, and I feel like that was such a great move by them. And it just shows that Bethesda cares, even though they kind of have been dropping the ball, especially as of late with Starfield. I'm sorry, Todd. Starfield. It was so. I was not a fan personally. I just feel like it could have been so much more. But that's just me personally. But but that's about it for like the negativities and whatnot. The combat system is the classic it's Fallout combat system, man. Like I told you, they have so many weapons and they have VATS. VATS, dude, VATS is the greatest idea. I don't know I don't know if it was ZeniMax. I don't know if it was Fair Play. I don't know if it was whoever the fuck thought up VATS. You are a genius. That was the greatest. That is the greatest gaming mechanic ever, dude. The time stops and you can just aim at a percentage too high, and the fucking slow motion cameras. Oh my god, dude! It's just like such a great, great idea. Such a great idea, and it's just done. It's sad that's not done in more games, but it would not surprise me if ZeniMax or Bethesda has that shit patented. It's like, bitch, you use VATS, give me some fucking money. You use my system, give me some fucking money, because that system is such a awesome. I love that system, and I love the way it looks. I love the way we're like you get those cool slow motion shots, where like the bullets flying through the air, the guy's head explodes, and it's just like they knew what they were doing when they were fucking making this game, and it's just very satisfying. Melee too, like I said, I play melee, like melee, dude, like when you can beat someone so hard their fucking leg explodes. What the fuck? And then like when you're surrounded, you take some psycho and some jet and GG's in the chat. Like it's over, dude. It's fucking over. You're just beating the shit out of everything. And yeah, that's it, man. Now this video is almost 30 minutes long. I think I'm gonna try and get it down to like, oh man, this video is gonna be a long one. Holy crap. I'm gonna try and edit it down, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I feel like I have to stop talking now because this is whoa. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you want, please comment on what your first Fallout was. Did you play Fallout 3? Did you play Fallout 1? Did you play Fallout 2? Did you play New Vegas? Was that your first one? Like what was your favorite? What did you like? My personal favorite, if I'm gonna have to pick, uh I'm gonna have to be basic and go with New Vegas. I'm sorry, New Vegas, dude. Mr. House, the fucking Legion. So maybe I'll do a video on that one another time. But like, I just want to do Fallout 4 because they just got an update and like, fucking let me get on that algorithm. Let me get in. Let me get some recommendations. Let me get some views. Let me get some clicks. You know what I'm saying? Let me get some of those. Let me get some of those. But thank you guys so much for watching this far. If you watch this far, I assume that you're A1 and. I'm gonna call you steak sauce. Like I love you so much. Thank you guys so much. If you haven't liked it, like it. If you can, please subscribe. We're only going up. We're only going up. And the more I go up, the more my power goes. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be the fucking Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get giant. You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, that's it.